mulched the area where I just planted my blue java plants. I still need to do a few things. I need to go ahead and rake it out and level it off, and I still need to wait for a new batch of chips so I could go ahead and spread it out in this whole area over here, because this whole area over here is going to be permaculture, and it's going to continue around the whole lake, all the way around and all the way back down. I dug this pond over here so I could go ahead and plant banana plants and other tropicals, and banana plants really love water. However, with that said, they also like to be fertilized. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I fertilized. I chop and drop Mexican sunflower, and I also go ahead and utilize some compost tea. So with that said, let's go over to my compost tea and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm over here at my well pump, and I also have barrels of compost tea that I made. So let me show you what that looks like. It rained last night, so there's a bunch of water on here. Just open it up and drop it. And if you look on the inside, here's compost tea. I'm going to go ahead and stir it. You see how dark that looks right there? Okay, well, all these barrels right here have compost tea in it. Well, I got one that I use, and then all the rest are fermenting. In other words, when you go ahead and you make compost tea, it takes, you know, to get it to be really good, about 2 months, 6 weeks, 2 months. So, of course, I have multiple barrels, and they have multiple ages of composition in there, or different ages of fertilizer in there that will be used. Well, what I go ahead and do is I have Mexican sunflower right over here, and this is one area right here that I planted. Down the other end over there, let's walk over to it. Walking over the mulch piles. Okay, have another area with Mexican sunflower, and if you look at my videos, I went ahead and cut these to the ground. I don't know, about 2 weeks or so ago. They were probably about 15 foot tall, and they're already coming back in. Okay, so let's go over here to some more that I have growing. Okay, so over here I have different stages. I have some younger Mexican sunflower, and I have some older and taller, which I got in there the other day and thinned it all out. Plus, on the inside of this, I have this fence around so the deer don't get in there and eat them all, which they have before I did that. I have Comfrey Bocking 14 in there, and I utilize all of it as chop and drop. So, and then also over here, I have potted also over here I have potted Mexican sunflower. If you want any, go ahead and let me know. And then also I have other ones I stuck in the ground, and throughout the whole property I have different Mexican sunflower at different stages. Right over here by my shed, I got more growing over here. So basically, it's always good to have more growing, because you're going to have to go ahead and chop it and put it in the barrels, pack it down, fill it up with water, and every now and then you stir it. In about 2 months or so, you're going to have compost tea that you're going to utilize on your plants. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I fertilize all my plants around the property. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fertilize all of my banana plants with some compost tea that I made. So what I did is I went ahead and securely attached a barrel over here to my fork on my tractor. Now you could do it just with a 5-gallon bucket and carry it, but for me this is a lot easier. So I'm just going to get any container, stir it up, and I'm just going to go ahead and put some in there. Now you can kind of see the color is really dark. Okay, so I basically got it up to there, so if I fill it up, it's approximately 10 to 1. But for the video, let's look. Okay, right about to there. So it's about to there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 to 1, 9 to 1. Don't have to be all that accurate. Okay, turned on my well pump, and I'm going to go ahead and just fill up the barrel. Just let that fill up. Always good to keep a towel handy. And since I get off of the tractor on this side, I'm going to put it over here. I can use it to wipe my hands if I need. Okay, so as that's filling up, I make all of my compost tea out of Mexican sunflower, and I have a lot of it planted, so it produces a lot, and I can use as much as I want. Not only do I go ahead and strip off all the leaves and pack it down and make compost tea, but I chop and drop it, which I'm going to go ahead and do here today too, because some of my plants are pretty big. I like topping off my plants probably about 1 foot off the bottom, then they grow bushy, they grow tall again, and they grow bushier, and they have more leaves. If you let it grow 15, 20 foot tall, you got less leaves on the bottom and bigger stalks. So I try to keep them down, which gives me an excuse to either chop and drop or make some more compost tea. And I also have Comfrey Bocking 14. Well, that, when you cut it down, it takes probably about 2 months or 3 months for it to really get full size to drop it, chop it down again. So I utilize a lot more of the Mexican sunflower. So with that said, I'm going to show you how I fertilize and you can too. I have a lot of videos about my fertilization system and how I go around and fertilize, and also how I chop and drop, and how I chop and I go ahead and make fertilizer. Just check out my videos. Okay, that's about up to there. I'm going to shut this off and shut this off. Okay, I shut off my well pump. This is pretty well full. Now this is going to slosh around until it gets empty, and some's going to come out. So let me go get my cover for it and put that on it. Okay, so I went ahead and got a cover. When I move the tractor, it's going to slosh and come over. So just by putting on a cover, it helps a little bit. It still might knock it off unless I put weight over it, but I'm not going to go to that extent. So let's get on with fertilization. Okay, so I went ahead and hooked up the video camera to the tractor. Got my bucket filled with compost tea over here. So let's go ahead and do some fertilization over here. Okay, I'm going to leave the camera on the tractor, and it looks to me like it's angled out a little bit so you can catch what I'm doing over there. It would make things easier instead of keep holding the camera. So let me go ahead and fertilize. I just grab a good amount. And just put it at the base all the way around. Now, I have bananas fruit in here, bananas fruit in there, and bananas fruit in there. So, they need a lot of water, and they need a lot of fertilization. And it's been raining, so when it rains, that'll even wash it in more. But the roots are not down that far, so it's going to go ahead and fertilize that. So what I go ahead and try to do is I try to do this once a week or twice a week. Once a week, on my pups that I just planted, and for banana plants that are fruiting, twice a week. That way they get the nutrients they want. Although, if you watch some of my other videos, I show you how I went ahead and planted that with chips down in the hole, with composted horse manure in the hole, and then chips over the top. So that has a lot of nutrients too. So the combination is really awesome for banana plants. I went ahead and dug this pond, so the roots that are going down, they could get up to 5 feet long. So if they just go down a couple feet, they're sucking water from the pond. When I plant them, you like to keep, you got to keep the corm above the water table, otherwise you'll get root rot. But once the corm's above, the plant knows where it wants to go to get the most moisture of water, because banana plants are basically 90-something% water, so they need a whole lot of water, and they need the nutrients, so they need fertilizer. So with that said, let's get on with it. Okay, that looks like it got all these banana plants. Now these banana plants over here are the pups from those banana plants that I planted when they were young. Now these pups are up over my head, and they're producing a lot of pups on the bottom. And I contribute that to my hookah culture method that I went ahead and planted everything in with the compost. Plus I do a lot of fertilization. So they're nice, plump, healthy, wide-based plants that are growing really good. Plus I trim them up good, and I give them a lot of fertilizer. So they got water, plenty of it. They got fertilizer, plenty of it. They got good, rich compost, and that helps to have the pups grow. If you look at all these plants, they got from like 3, 4, and 5, and even 6 pups growing. And I get in there and I trim off and I separate the pups quite often, and then they just keep shooting out more pups. I take these pups and I transplant them into pots, and once they root really well, then I transplant them around the property and also sell them. So if you're interested in a banana plant, let me know. So let me get on with it. This one's got 3 pups. This one's got 3 pups. This one has 4 pups. It had 5. In a video I made the other day, I separated it. Okay, this one, that one's got 2 pups. Okay, I'm going to move my camera to get a little bit different angle so you can see. Okay, hopefully that's in the right position. I'm having a hard time seeing it in the video. Okay, that one has 4 pups. Okay, that one there doesn't have any pups yet, but it was my smallest. One, two, three. Okay, that one there's got 5 pups. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 banana plants. And how many pups do I got? There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so right over here, I have about 22 pups. That's a lot of plants. Okay, so I just fertilized them with compost tea and counted approximately 22 pups that are growing. And I have to get in there and separate them and pot them. It's a lot of work, so I gotta wait till I got the time to do it. So that's 22 banana plants. Wow. And more are gonna be coming up. And I can't separate them all at the same time. I wait for them to get a certain height. And of course I do a video of it when I do it most of the time. So, okay, let's go ahead and fertilize the new blue javas that I just planted this week. Okay, those should all be in the video. These are on the back side of my pond that I dug. These are all blue javas. I just planted them this week. Check out the video on how I went ahead and planted those. Dug 3 feet down, filled with chips, and then filled with compost, and then planted, and then went ahead and put chips on the top that I'm filling in over here to create new compost, and now I'm fertilizing. So with that said, let me get with it. Now I'm going around the pond this way because the camera's facing out to the right of my tractor. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. I could do it in any order I want and not worry about the camera. But today I got the camera with me, so let me get on with it. I just noticed that one of my pups down there is shooting out a pup. Fantastic. I'd recommend wearing gloves if you do it, because your hands will smell when you touch it, but you wash your hands, it comes off. So anyway, I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue java plants, fertilized them, and one of my blue java plants it's a pup, and it's given off a new pup already. Fantastic. I just planted that probably within the past 2 weeks. You got to check out my video on planting blue java plants and you'll see what date it was, and then look at today's date and you'll know the age. So I think it's fantastic. I'm getting another blue java that I'll probably plant right there, and then the other one that's in the pot over there is a Nîmois, and that's coming down here at the end. Maybe 2 Nîmois, or I have a dwarf Cavendish I might put here. I'm not sure, but I wanted this back row to be ice cream banana plants or blue java. And anyways, let me get going. I got a bunch of praying hands over there and Orinoco, and I'm gonna go ahead and fertilize those right now. And the reason why I'm going slow is because I don't want all that to slosh out. Okay, so right here, these are praying hands that I planted, and I just planted those this week. They're done as a hugelkultur method. So I dug the hole down about 3 or so feet. I put a log that I cut, and I put that at the base on the bottom. Then I filled with chips above that, then compost, then the plant, and then freshly about a foot of composted chips or fresh chips on the top, which eventually will turn into good organic compost soil. And that's about a foot, and some places even 1.5 feet high, which will level the ground and change my sandy soil into good compost soil. So let me go ahead and start fertilizing. Okay, so these are all fertilized right now with compost tea. Let's go. So that's how I fertilize my banana plants. So now I have a couple fruit trees that I want to go ahead and fertilize, and I have all these palms to do, but I'm not going to do them on this video, but I will do the fruit trees. Okay, hopefully that's in the video. I'm going to go ahead and fertilize. Okay, I went ahead and fertilized some of my loquat trees. Now I have a bunch of banana pups in pots. Let's go over there and water those, fertilize those. Okay, let me move some stuff out of the way. Okay, I went ahead and opened up my gate. Let's go fertilize some potted pups. Okay, for those of you that are new to my channel, I have grapevines all the way around the garden and my hugelkultur area. Okay, it looks like I got most of those on there. So let me go ahead and fertilize. Stinky fingers. Okay, so I went ahead and fertilized all my potted pups. Okay, so I went ahead and fertilized all my potted pups with Mexican sunflower and Comfrey Bocking 14 compost tea. All the rest of my garden and watermelons and grapevines, they get fertilized with it too, but I got the irrigation hooked up so it drips into the banana plants that I just did, my grapevines, my garden, and my watermelon. And eventually I'll have enough piping to go around the whole yard, 12 zones, and do everything else. But a lot of work, so I try to do that type of digging in the winter time when it's cooler out. So maybe this winter I'll get to a lot, but who knows, with the way building materials are, maybe I'll wait till next year, who knows. So anyway, with that said, let me go ahead and I'm going to bring the rest of this barrel over to my neighbors and give them some compost tea, because they got some banana pups of mine, and plus they got some bananas growing, and I'm going to help them fertilize. So anyways, hey, I hope you enjoyed. The importance of me showing you this is I want to let you know what I do to have my banana plants grow as well as they grow, and to produce as many pups as they do, and to fruit sooner as they normally would, and to have my banana fruits bear fruit and become healthy, plump, and tasty. So anyway, until next time.